Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Citizens, how's your spirit? I am in the midst of just trying out some things, so please don't expect anything. I just wanted to see how Restream was working out. One thing I haven't been able to find that we used to do is share pictures. We share my screen so that we can see particular videos and react to them. So I gotta look at that. Probably won't be until Monday. And then this new music feature that they have over here, I have not seen that before. Obviously, you can play music that they've got that's AI generated. Look, this, and you can turn it. I mean, it's private enough, and I guess it means it's copyright. Now, I always had a thing where I didn't see what it copyright, so it should have been okay anyway. Let's see. This is, however, something that's interesting. So we'll pause that for a minute. Anyway, and then there's the fact that we still got that whole YouTube thing that I got to figure out because there was a lot that had to be done sometimes, like making sure that it's connected from here directly to the YouTube. Or do I have to go through the YouTube studio again and do all that stuff? So this is a test just to see. But really, the only way for me to know whether or not it's working is if someone goes there or not. You know what? It's a test. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Hold on. I'm going to put this on mute and I'll be back. Actually, I'll play you some music while I do that. There you go. Oh, oops. Apparently, you got to pay the upgrade for hip hop. So, hey, we got to make sure we start working on getting these apps and things, you guys. Here we go. It's a group app right here. Anyway, there's the music. I'll be right back. Oh my god! Oh my god! Shout out to Verizon for being on with the customer service because one, as much bandwidth as I've got to be taking up with live streaming music, and then having my YouTube channel open to see whether or not the live stream is going. That is a kudos and a boon to Verizon. So kudos to y'all. Thank you for having me, girl, as a business member and partner. Kudos, because I felt some type of way when I heard about that whole private prison thing. But we all can learn and grow, right? We can all learn and grow out here. Ain't no bones about it, ladies and gentlemen. I still feel the way I do about capitalism. But commerce and capitalism are two different things. Okay? We have to be able to do commerce in this country. Now, I don't believe in capitalism, so I don't believe that there should be billionaires. I believe that there should be millionaires when we have homeless people. We give everybody universal basic income, a place to live, access to food, insurance, and weed. Do that for 2 years, and then we'll see. And I don't want to hear any BS. No, we can't do it. Listen, there was no money when we gave everybody a stimulus check in 2020. There was no fiat currency. There was no nada. So let's not be out here acting like it's tethered to anything in the first place. So let's give the people the money along with the foundational knowledge and education that'll put them back into the situation that they need to be in. One more thing. Oh, shoot. All right, you guys, hold on for a second because this I need to switch so I can do this so that other people will know maybe that I'm not talking to myself exceptionally crazy, that I am at least speaking directly into my headphones and a phone. And honey, if I could only tell you what it is like with not having those things, eventually we'll get around to that. I just am gonna have to do because like I've got noise canceling headphones, the wind cancellation needs to happen, but I don't want to do too much. Hold on while I'm in this stream. Give me a second. And that is because I need to adjust the mic in the whatchamacallit, either on Restream or something else. Hold on for a second. Okay, now let's see what. And each time I drop out, which I knew that before, but this is why we work out the little thingies now. Each time I drop out, I have to come back. So camera 1 and 3, front facing, front facing. Yeah, okay. There should be. Okay, maybe we like that camera a little bit better. Okay, we're gonna play around with some settings real quick. Okay, we want share audio output, high resolution. Echo cancellation and noise suppression must be disabled to use stereo audio. Okay. Okay. Now, that means that the audio should be coming from oh, my headphone. That was crazy. Is that sound used to mean that there was someone in my chat somewhere? That is not what that means today, 'cause I only was here. But wow, it's been a hot minute. I'm tickled pink and I'm looking forward to this. So forgive me if I just spent some time visiting Restream. It's been a while. Anyway, what I can do drop the overlay. Okay. What I don't like is how tiny the window is when I go to what's supposed to be with me. That's different. I don't care for that. Doesn't it seem to be using too much of my battery up? That's also a good thing to know. Wait, cause, cause, man, I don't want to upload video. I want to be able to use video directly from where does this one? It wants me to upgrade. So at a minimum, you're looking at $16 a month or $190 yearly. So I guess that's gonna be one of the first asks on this channel as far as being able to keep it going live consistently. And it's not entirely true because there's a lot of things that I don't have to do in order to make that happen. Whoops. One of them really just being like making to only have myself on screen, to be able to play behind me and then just have someone click on it to watch elsewhere, and then I can control how long it's playing because a lot of content creators who are, for other for whatever choose to keep you from you. And I know that's why Restream has reformatted along with a couple others because when it comes to those of us who use that type of format, we're not all doing the same thing. It's very difficult to determine who's doing what using the format of using a comment on, right? We're all using a video to comment on. That's the format that's the same. What we're actually doing inside of that format, though, is different. Like, I'm one of the few content creators who smokes cannabis while inside that format, which makes it difficult for them to create an algorithm, except for one around me and my content, which is originally how YouTube was supposed to be anyway. You build an algorithm or whatever around yourself and your content, and you grow it, especially if you're someone who is a blogger or a vlogger. Now, if you are doing standalone videos, even that's about the same because you still want people who know what you're creating and or producing. The only reason to collaborate is so that you can continue to grow um, into other niches that you may not otherwise be able to grow into as quickly. You could over time because anyone technically continue to grow their interest and grow their channel by way of growing their interest. However, if you get with someone who is already in a niche that you have an interest in and communicate with them, right? Collaborate, a few times. Make it, an annual, biannual, whatever thing, right? And then you've got an opportunity to grab a crossover audience. Rather than having to change your entire program, you can grab a crossover audience. People who like both what that person is doing, what you're doing, or at least curious. And this creates um, an influx of interest in your business. One immediately, and one that you can control and sustain flow of, because it's just you. I mean, it's you who's deciding, where you're going, who, like say for instance, it's camping, right? You decided that you're getting to the camping part of YouTube. Well, you know 6 or 7 people who are YouTube camping content creators typically. So you reach out to them. Hey, listen, I'm generally political, such and such and so, but in my spare time, I would like to go camping. How about you come onto my channel and we discuss camping, blah 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 blah, and then maybe on your channel you can take me out and show me some of the things that you do that gives you a few opportunities to, move the needle or to grow your audience. Another thing is making sure that you are actually in these people's audiences beforehand. First started YouTube. This is not my first channel. This is actually my third. This is my third only because the first two, one was, well, my phone was destroyed. Anyway, I'll say all that to say. One of the very first things I did as a content creator who had 0 subscribers was go to channels that had 0 subscribers. And I would participate in their chats. If I liked what they had going on, I would subscribe to their channel. And then when my content, I wrote that like I would uh, subscribe to their channel, participate in their chat. And over time, people in their chats got to know me, and so they would come and support me. Even though my channel wasn't live yet, they would subscribe. So eventually, I would go live, and when I went live, the people who I supported who had gone to my channel were there. That's why my very first video I have is because I was behind the scenes doing the work before I ever went live. Unlike this time where I'm going live without having done that work, and that's only because I've done this before. So I kind of this is just me week on what's been happening. And 420 and the 520 was one of those consistent things. Token trolls, a consistent thing, and continue to be. Even as I'm saying on another video that's going to be loaded later that I'm running for the United States president. I think it's time that we had honest, outright people who run for president. Just got to be careful where you get your cannabis. And when you get it from the dispensary, if you're not used to dispensary weed that's like, 20% or higher, don't be coming to Arizona and acting like you know what you're doing. Come see me, some other cannabis conversation. Get with the bud tenders over at Jars. They're really have bud tenders down at Awesome. That's a veteran run operation. And then you've got DT dispensaries, which are really great. They've got a whole medical line that you can go to. So there are opportunities out there for you. And shout out to those organizations. The cannabis community is one of the more friendly in the city of Tucson. But what I will say is, I'm still amazed by this city every day. Every other day, I battle with the idea of leaving this bad boy, though. I won't front that. Long story short, it's a beautiful city. So I'm gonna get back to it. There will be content on other platforms. Obviously, the names will not be what they used to be, so please continue to look for me. And as I begin to open up those channels or platforms, I will make sure links to them on the channel because this will be fun preaches to say our main, and I appreciate them too. Thanks for being you. You encourage me to keep going, whether you know it or not. I recognize that at the height of live streaming, and even of me who are still left out here, few people who are doing it from the heart. In my perspective, content creation has always been an art. And as long as I have the ability to create a channel and avenues to do so, art will always be an avenue to beautiful things like education, ministries, and showing love to the people on the street. So let me say this for clarity. I don't care how people feel about my statement about the policeman who came after me. We all put on clothes every day, and we know how to behave in a functional way. The Manaspherians used to come to me all the time and say that women didn't know how to be accountable. I believe it's time for others to be accountable for the way that they behave every day. Behave as if your boss is watching or your mama is watching. Behave as though your confessor is watching. And by that I mean there's someone. So you tell the truth and you expect them to tell the truth back to you. Behave as if you know they're watching. I wonder how ashamed Officer Schwinn would be that this but five men in a uniform with a gun and a badge and taser and the partner standing next to me. Because I asked him whether or not I had to answer his questions or tell him where I was going and if I was required to leave the property if I was indeed going to be getting on a bus. And then he made sure to announce to everyone where it was, so I politely told him to shut mine by way of picking up my marijuana, lighter, cigarettes, going to the smoking area, which is opposite of what I told him I was going to do, and encouraging him to piss off too. You dig? You dig? We all have to know our rights in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And in the state of Arizona, a police officer is actually no longer required to read you your Miranda rights when he approaches you or when he questions you. So you might want to ask them some questions. You need to know what it is to be profiled. That's what Officer Schwinn profiled me. He saw a portion of an interaction between me and the gentleman and decided that I was the one in the wrong, not ever questioning what the other person, assuming that because I was the one who was a bit agitated, I must have profiling. Rather than getting to the source of the actual, he came to me aggressively. Where are you going? What are you doing? How long are you going to be here? There's no loitering here. I'm not just coming after you because you have on a U of A outfit. Hmm. And it's amazing how my connection dropped out just then. Anyway, let's hit the opposite one. I'm waiting. Do I have to tell you where I'm going? Do I have to tell you anything at all? To tell you my name? No. Okay. To tell you I'm going. Okay. I'm gonna get on bus 23. Okay. She's gonna get on bus 23. Oh, thank you for announcing that, Officer Swin. I'm gonna get my ass over here to the smoke section. Is what I'm gonna do. The smoke to calm my nerves down because I have PTSD, along with some other things. And plus, it's legal in this city. And if I needed to keep me from having to tell Officer Swin anything other than that, then, so be it. And see, the long story short here is Officer Swin yesterday made it seem like we were friends after having had that issue just a moment ago. A few days prior. I was like, yeah, no, Officer Swin, I know what that is. If you happen to watch, like, I don't know, the news. Maybe some of them TV shows they have to do officers. They magically get sick or die right when someone's in need of their services that they don't like. Could even be their own, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I was just asking for everybody very, very clearly why it is I didn't trust all police officers. I don't trust all of anybody. I'm really a Boosie fan and say I don't trust nobody except the Most High God. And even that I take with a grain of salt. As should we all. Because what you may believe is the Most High talking to you may indeed be a Faustian deal with all. Check your P's and Q's. Make sure all of your ducks are in a row. If we are not careful out here, we are in danger of becoming those we dislike out here. It's not okay to disrespect the world around us just because we find it disrespectful. Oftentimes, that is something I am very guilty of in the spirit. I, in my in the ether. I am entitled to my. I'm not allowed to judge you based on my thoughts. My thoughts are really no more than projected energy. I am someone who lives with no internal monologue. There's nothing you need to know about me because we're at the 26 minute and 13 second, 14 second mark. Is I speak very clearly, very freely, and often very quickly. There's no papers. There's no one around me who's assisting me with any of this. This is me off the cuff. So imagine me leading the country. We can do just about anything. We can go just about anywhere. I am someone who can speak about astrophysics, aerodynamics. We can have conversations about your mama's cooking and my daddy's barbecue, and we can do all types of things. We just have to decide that we want those things. It's time for the people of this country to become the citizens America has claimed us to always be. And I am looking forward to doing so. Um, I'm going to find that every now and then there are things that are going to irritate me. And I might look off camera and fuss a bit and turn my head back. It's simply the fact that there is something in the energy around my energy that is making me want to hmm, destroy negative energy. And in an effort to be full and maintain a level of positive peacefulness at this moment, I'm going to attempt to let it be. Although it is important for people to understand that just because I am recording me doesn't mean it's okay for them to record me. That's something you also need to understand. In the state of Arizona, someone can record you without your permission, without your knowing. The moment that you are aware, though, and you say, stop recording me, if they don't, they're in violation of your rights. Now, here's the beauty. I am on the string right here, and you can visibly see that there's no one walking by me at this time, or anybody to walk into the frame. They're walking directly behind me, and they have to make a concerted effort to stay in frame long enough for it to be an issue. Them problem, not a me problem, because I am recording myself, not them. They walk themselves into. I'm usually pretty cognizant of it, and if I can, or once I am more aware of how this works, I will be able to just go ahead and block them folks from even being in frame in the first place. Outside of that, y'all know how I roll, and if you don't, that means anyone else is the guest, and they come up through the back studio portion, and I see their face, and either they go ahead and cover it afterwards. They're not allowed on the channel, or on channel, and that's really up to them. Outside of that, I believe in copyrights. I believe in fair use, fair speech. I will not be censored. So we may find that early on, if I am using music or videos, that they're going to try and block and or me. Again, I will not be censored. Using those tools for the purpose of conversation, education, training, so on and so forth, are certainly allowable. Fair use guidelines. even brand new content coming out that is fair use, because you are going to be recreating it by way of how often you use it, how often you pause it, how what you say during it, whether or not you put music over it, what you do in order to make it clear that that content does not belong to you. All of those things. I am someone who fought to be able to do that, and I will not stop doing so. And I intend to make sure that I end up there with the MLA people, because it's that important to me. Um, it's pretty much how I put my master's degree out there since COVID was doing this thing. Anyway, long story short, it's important because here on this restream right here, honey, it says you can get your music heard. Okay, well, if you can get your music heard, where you gonna get it monetized? Will YouTube use the copyright against you should you put your music on restream before you put it on YouTube? A copyright or do it? There's a lot of things there, but you know what? I'm be quiet. I got some things I need to get into. This was fun though. Just knowing that I can do this 30 minutes or more. And keep the spirit up. I'll see you in the stream.